Hello, everyone. I am still getting set up here, so bear with me a moment. I have bits and pieces of paper here, and we're going to kind of talk about what do you do when you lose some of that mojo? Huh? Not moji, mojo. That's funny. My name's Mary Jo Snyder. Welcome to my Creativity Made Easy on Tuesday evening. It is March 25th. 2025, and I am looking out my back window and the sun is setting and the clouds are super pretty pink. Very, very nice. So I'm gonna hop on my, yep, I was gonna try and hop on my iPad. It's gonna take me a minute to get everywhere I need to be, so bear with me. We've got some bits and pieces of that, well, there's other stuff mixed in. That wonderful, yep, I don't know what it's called. All that wonderful storybook memory, 6x6 plaid and gingham and buffalo check and all that fun stuff. So we're going to play with that by making a few different simple cards. And this is a way that, all right, I got all kinds of messages popping on. The minute I turn on my iPad, it goes crazy with messages that I've already looked at on my phone. So there's that. All right, we're going to get to me. There I am. Not showing my face tonight. Hey, Susan. Aw, thank you so much. Glad you're here. I do not even have my lights hooked up or anything. I literally am just getting here. And I'll share this over to Facebook when I'm done. I didn't even announce that I was going live over here tonight on Facebook. But you know what? It's okay, because that's what replays are for, right? I'm just going to grab one of my other lights here and put a little more light on the subject. You're going to hear me. I sound like, obviously, I have my boot on and there's Velcro attached to my, keeping my boot on. So it's pretty funny. I need to grab a couple of colors of paper. So these are probably going to be kind of masculine cards. I'm going to just get a few different colors that will go with what we have going on. And of course, you know this paper pack. I don't know if that's a color, but we'll pull that out. Completely unprepared. But you know what? I have ideas in my head, and you know, that's the best place to start, in your head. So welcome. Those of you that are new to my channel, thank you for joining in. And feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell, as well as comment. All of that stuff helps me and anyone else that you watch on YouTube. It's nice to do that for them. If you are not able to comment, I gotta find more paper. I don't know where all my paper is. If you're not able to comment or any of those things, that is because you are not signed into YouTube. So if you do not, you would need to have a Google account in order to, thank you. In order to, you would need a Google account in order to hop onto YouTube and actually interact throughout people's lives. So, or, you know, comment on pre-recorded stuff as well. So, all right, more paper, and then we're going to get started. All right, I just have to move some things around. Yep, still in the, it's like a never ending process with this, what am I trying to say? I think all the stuff I'm doing in my craft room, it's like never ending, it seems. It's just not getting done. That's what the problem is. And now I need to find my paper. Oh, my Lanta. This child needs to be a little bit more organized. Today is not that day. I bet it's in that box right there. So, all right. Card bases. I'm just going to grab some card bases. I don't care what color they are. I'm just going to grab the stack. All right, there we go. We know we have colors that match in here. All right, so a couple of things that are really, you know, when you lose that mojo for crafting, there's always a lot of things that or a lot of ways to find inspiration. One is watching others. I watch a lot of different crafters, whether it, you know, Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, junk journal crafters, people that are into scrapbooking, a lot of different avenues and genres of paper crafting. I just really like to get my hands dirty in it all. So if that makes sense. All right, so I'm grabbing Misty Moonlight. I got crumb cake. I think there's soft sea foam. Of course, I'm using Stampin' Up! Colors. That's what I'm familiar with. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I couldn't incorporate different things and use whatever you have on hand. So when I struggle, a lot of things I like to do is kind of take whatever scraps I have and try to make sense of maybe adding, like creating a collage on a piece of paper. And maybe you don't want to start like with the actual card base. Maybe you want to grab another piece of paper that would coordinate with one of these colors. So I really like, and I know there's gray tone in this, and I don't know where my paper pack is at the moment, but I like that gray and so let's see what we can do here. I think there's some basic gray in there of some sort. I think that looks really good together. So I'm going to pull in those colors, those pieces of paper, and I can use the flip side and I can use that. I'm just going to grab whatever I have over here. There's just a couple of pieces. I think that's going to look good on here. But what I want to do also is grab a scrap, and I don't think I have any. I was so excited to sell all my scraps, and now I have to create more. All my little scrap bins of all my Stampin' Up! Colors, but that's because I'm going through my stash and replenishing with a variety of products. So, okay, so I'm grabbing the basic gray, and I apologize if I get a little, I keep messing with my teeth because I had my permanent crowns done today. And they're a little weird. They're a little sensitive. So if I drink water, it might be a little weird for me. So I should get my other light and turn that on as well. Thank you for your patience with this broadcast. So let's get some more light on the subject. And I had a nail appointment tonight, so that's why I'm a little later on Tuesdays when I'm able to hop on here. So all right, so I'm gonna grab, maybe I want this to be the card base and this to be, no, let's see, where did the gray piece go? So we have gray, and I think I do. I think I want to use this as the piece I'm putting these elements on, or the paper on. So let's create a card base. So we know we can cut this to 5.5. This is a full piece of paper, 8.5 by 11. It's just having trouble speaking today. And I like to use my piercing, I'm sorry, not my piercing mat, my scoring, Simply Score tool to create my score lines. And that will get scored at 4.25. So 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4.25. Your typical standard base. One of them anyway. No fun folds or anything like that. So you have a bunch of scraps around of designer series paper. You can pull those in. And as I was saying, it's nice to get ideas from others in order to help inspire yourself. There's Pinterest, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's all different social medias. There is Instagram. Now there's crafters over on TikTok. I never got into TikTok, but I'm going to cut this down to, I think I want to cut it down to 3. Let's do 3.5 by 4 3/4. So this is going to be my mat for this card base. Okay, and this is what we're going to start building on with all those scraps. So, and there's just all these social media things. There's reels, there's short videos, there's live videos, there are pre-recorded videos. So it's helpful to, you know, search and find ideas, even though some of these avenues don't always, the people don't always give you measurements or all of that stuff that you might need to recreate the card or the project you're looking to recreate. It is helpful to have those instructions, But a lot of times, especially if you're familiar with measurements, you can eyeball it sort of and maybe measure in a different way, make it your own, get some ideas from their project. Especially if it's like a reel, it's very difficult to follow a reel and understand the measurements and all of that stuff. But there's a lot of great ideas out there, and I hope that I'm one of those people that can inspire you. I know there are a lot of people that inspire me and bring me so much excitement into those moments where I'm like, oh, I just don't even know what to do with this. I have no mojo whatsoever, and I need help. And hopefully that is going to work for you. Now, these are bits and pieces I cut down a while ago for another project, and they are 1 inch by 3 inches. So just basic strips. So this is, again, 3.5 by 4 3/4. So that is basic gray, and I have Calypso Coral as my card base. So we might add another layer in there just to touch on other colors that are here. But literally, it is super simple if you have scraps that are pre-cut. And you can go ahead and layer these. So I have 4 pieces easily layered together like that. So we're going to use that as our focal point on the card base. And yes, so the designs are not flowing, you know, because they're mixed and matched, and that doesn't make a difference. You could even swap up and put one of these here because it's got that gray tone in there as well. Just a lot of different options that you can do when you have a paper pack and you cut down scraps that you have left from whatever project or from using other things, the other pieces of paper from it, and that's what you have left. So what I need to do, my hands are super cold. I turned the heat down today. I'm trying to fight having fuel delivered anymore because it's been really very difficult. It's been very hard to, keep up with the fuel expense this winter. So it's been super cold. So I'm going to line this up kind of the same on my grid here. And then I'm going to add some Tombow to the back of these pieces. And I got to get the googers off. There's always googers on my Tombow. Let's grab my garbage can. So, and then I'm going to go over some tips and tricks about how to have things available when you don't have a lot of time. Hey, Carol, welcome. Oh, thank you for being here. Where are you from? I'm glad that you're joining us. We are doing some, what do you do when you don't have that crafting mojo? Hey, Lisa. So I am just grabbing some scraps and cutting down layers, and we're gonna wing it and see what we can create. But of course, there's always all those resources. I didn't want to do that yet. I'm gonna have to set that aside. I want to do, so this plaid, this, okay. I want to do both outside pieces first. When I do these kind of stripe designs with strips of paper, I like to make sure that I do the sides first, if that makes sense. So then I can position the other two. South Carolina, but moving back to Virginia next week. Well, safe travels and safe move. Are you originally from Virginia? It's nice to have you here. We have a great group of people here, and I'm trying to certainly grow my audience so that I can definitely keep active here and keep myself going, because the more people I have here, the more inspired I am to keep creating. So, so that is not really where I want it, and I think that's probably dry now. Let's see if we can pull this up. It didn't really go as planned, but it's not dry. So if it is, we're gonna fix it. Okay, no worries. I have an adhesive eraser. You know, this is live broadcasting. It's like being on television. See, I have a little oops there. We're gonna get that off with my adhesive eraser. Once that dries, no big deal. But that is like the concept there. And that's because I got watching comments and been here in South Carolina 4 years and hated it. Oh, is it too hot there, or just, I don't know. There's something about Virginia. I've been to Virginia Beach and I absolutely loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the I don't know if it's a boardwalk or whatever it is, but there, we got that piece of paper out of there. It's just a really beautiful place. And it's kind of a mix of, you still get your seasons in a sense, just not as drastic, I'm thinking. I don't know, I've never lived there, but it's absolutely beautiful. We went on vacation there and we loved it. So, and I love being near the ocean. I don't necessarily like to be in the ocean very much for fear of things I can't see, but I love the calming it gives to me, a combination of things. That makes sense. All right, so so we have that piece. Look how great that was. And I did kind of mess that up, but this is kind of just giving you an idea of what you can do, and we can cover that up. So this can be masculine, feminine, it can be spring, it can be Easter, any type of thing with this paper going on here. So I want to find a stamp set because we do need to do some stamping. And I want one that has a little bit of grunge to it. So let's see what I can find. Because I'm going to use, well, the Art and Texture. I don't even know if that's something that's still available, but I'm going to use that because I like the grunge on it. And I also am going to, sorry, I'm kind of away from my mic at the moment. I want to grab something else with sentiments. Let's see. I don't want big sentiments. All right. So Sincere. Why not? That one. And what's this one? Thoughtful Expressions. I think we'll go with that. Although I've never used this one either. Softly Said. Let's grab that. I think I used it once. Okay. All right. And we will need some. This boot is really getting in my way. I need some basic white or a lighter color. So let's grab. So again, this is where I'm going to show you a little other bit of other stuff when I really like that color. I wish I had my, I bet it's basic beige. That's what I'm going to use for my sentiment. Yep. Okay, good. And I know this is a full card base, but we're going to use it anyway. That one got mess on it anyway, so I can't use it as a card base. I could, I'd cover it up. Okay, anyway, so here we are. We want to stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to use one of these, and then we're going to die cut it out because, all right, hope you're feeling better soon. This could be a feel better card. So thankful for you. Be grateful for what you have. Be proud of who you are. I like the stamp set. I see now that on the, oh, it's Sandy Hancock, $1 Million stamp set. All right. Hope your day is a happy one. So thankful for you. Let's grab that one. Right here it is. And then we're going to grab some dies and we're going to cut some things out. So let's stamp this. And I'm going to stamp this actually in basic gray. It's not a color I use very often. So, all right. Grab a block, which is right here handy. And this is all about creativity made easy. When I come to you on Tuesdays, it's really to make things super easy. I'm going to stamp that again. Didn't have good ink coverage, probably because I haven't used this ink pad in forever. A lot of times I feature kits or something like that, or a complete product collection, and I'll create some things from it. If you're not familiar with my usually Tuesdays, but doesn't always work that way. I want to, so we've got plaid and check and all that fun stuff. Let's find something that's going to look good with this. I've got all kinds of dies everywhere. All right, So, embossing folder, I don't want that. We could do softly sophisticated. We could do this. We could use the frames that come along with that bundle, that product collection. We also, I love shapes. I'm a very, shapes are my favorite types of dies to use. So you'll see me use them a lot, as well as punches and stuff like that. So, all right. So I think what I'm going to do, since we have this here, I'm going to just grab one of these from the, let's see if it fits in this. We'll do this one. My hands are definitely cold. I think it's going to fit good right there. So thankful for you. We're going to grab our die cutting machine. We'll make a couple cards with some simple layouts, and then I will go over a couple other things, tips and tricks on how to make crafting a little bit easier for yourself when you are on a time crunch. So it's nice to have kits and all that fun stuff, but there is a way to maximize your time when you're sitting in front of the television and all that fun stuff. When you are me on my lunch break at work, when I would be when I was a demonstrator, I would I'm still a demonstrator because I demonstrate. I'm a teacher, not a demonstrator with a company, but anyway. All right, I am going to need Post-it tape. Since I already stamped this, I want to keep this right where I want it. And all the little things you can do to make, I knew it was there. Make things a little easier for you when you want to get in your craft room and you have time to spend. I am in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region, in a little town called Pulteney. It is, if you are familiar with New York, upstate New York, Finger Lakes. I live near Keuka Lake, and it is kind of in the vicinity of Corning and those areas. Corning. Oh, thank you. I got this at a thrift store. I was so excited. So yes, I'm in New York, not New York City, just upstate New York. Love it here. 4 seasons, all the things. I'll keep those out. Set this close by. And all right. So we have So Thankful for You all cut out. And we have these layers. And I think that we're just going to keep this as is. We can find some ribbon that might look good, or twine for that matter. I'm blinding myself with my, I think I have some twine that might go. And if not from this one, oh yeah, I have linen thread. We'll use that. So there's that. I will wrap this around a couple times. It's going to pull out that brown tone. I'm going to tie it in a knot. It's nice to have just embellishments around, just stuff that you can grab real quick and just coordinate with whatever you might have that you're working on. It's just really fun, simple layouts. It doesn't, sometimes less is more. I know I like to, when I was playing with that kit the other day, I was loving the fact that I could do all of those different layers. But of course I was following directions, which is even weirder for me. But all those different layers, and it just looked like it took so much work and it was so simple. But a lot of times just creating, sorry, I keep reaching in front of the camera. A lot of times just creating and doing clean cuts and simple things. I much rather use a punch if I have a punch available that is that would work for me. I think I've said like 500 times in this video. Definitely don't work with a script. My daughter-in-law is in Virginia, but she was from upstate New York. Oh, Where in upstate, do you know? It's just a great place. I mean, it's not like it's a small area, but it's just so beautiful to me. I mean, I love to visit other places. I'm going to use Tombow to put this on my card base. And we're going to center that right here. And then all we have to do, we're going to add some dimensionals to this. So having a variety of adhesives handy is also a good thing. And I have a pile of dimensionals right here somewhere because, oh, they're right in front of me. I was cleaning and found all kinds of things started. So, yes. So it's fun. I just absolutely love crafting, and it's always been something. I'm going to set it right here in between those two. Whoops. I've always loved paper crafting. I was scrapbooking before I knew it was even scrapbooking and before it was a thing. So there you go. You could add some other kind of embellishments, but that's a simple layout. So you have 1x3, 4 strips of it, same designer series paper, but you're flipping it over to see the other side and alternating. And again, that base layer and then your card base. And of course on the inside, I'll probably put basic beige to marry the front colors into the inside. So that's a very simple layout for use of scraps and just to, you know, kind of make things a little bit easier when you sometimes just aren't feeling it, but you have to get something done. So, all right, the next thing I want to do, I saw an awesome idea. I'm going to grab this piece of white card base. Do I want white? I don't think I want to put white on this, or do I? I'm going to grab a basic beige card base and bone folder. I keep putting things away. It's amazing. And, all right, so we have this. Now, I saw an awesome card that Tamara Bertram, I don't know if she says if her name's Tamara or Tamara Bertram. She is a Canadian demonstrator, and she is a bestie of mine. She is one that sat with me at backstage last year in Vegas, and I was on a couch all by myself in the waiting area, waiting for friends, and I think Long Island. Okay, yeah, that's more near the city, but that's super cool. Yeah, it's New York is. I just love being here. So small world, right? And thank you for the compliments. Thank you, everyone. Going to case this design for library. Thank you. You're welcome. See, Lisa, it's super easy cuts, right? And only one die cut image if you even wanted to do a die cut image, but it really makes it easy, especially if, you know, if you are one of those people that does classes and you need to make multiples, or even if you're making multiples for like a holiday card and you want to make several of them, it's just so easy, and it just gets you out of that slump and helps give you a little bit more motivation to keep going, you know. And I love that. I love that I can find these designs. So, as I was saying, Tamara, she is amazing. And I saw the cutest, simplest design, and I'm going to try and kind of copy it a little bit, but I'm going to get something with a lined image here. Like maybe this. I think I've used this set before. Oh, I think with the cows. The cows are so cute. I'm going to grab the one that has the stitching, kind of the added. Well, now I'm switching up because now I'm going to go with this. Do I want to go with this? Oh, all the decisions. Or do I want to go with this? I don't know. Let's wing it. We're going to take this one and we are going to put that on a block, and that's going to be my decision. Don't make it difficult. Just grab some stuff and stamp. All right. Now I am going to use some tone on tone probably. So we've got this, and I might grab maybe a green, just kind of offset those colors. And then let's grab, I think, one more. And let's see, so we've got the greens, we've got this, and maybe a darker. I think that would be good. All right, so, and I'm going to trim these down a little bit more. But I want to grab, how about using early espresso or pecan pie? I don't know. Maybe even that gray. I'll use basic. Actually, I'm going to use smoky slate because it's lighter. And there's a lighter gray tone in there because I don't want to be too dark. So let's grab smoky slate. Putting inks back where they don't belong. And I do want to get this. I have a stamp that's not seasoned. Seasoning your stamps. Versamark, clean it. You can use Versamark, which I'm going to do, or you can clean your stamp and then ink it and go from there. Using Versamark just makes that stickiness and helps pick up the ink a little bit better. I'm not sure I want to go full strength on this. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I will. All right, so we're going to go up here. Then I'm going to go lighter right here. Now her design obviously was a little bit different, but this will give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. That was simple stamping. We'll still do a sentiment. I'm going to put my Versamark aside, but that helped season my stamp so the ink would stick to it better. But you kind of got that grunge look going on. Okay, so we've done that. And we're going to grab a paper trimmer. And I'm actually just going to use my smaller guillotine because I want to make these very, like maybe a third or 3/4 of an inch rather than an inch. And maybe even a 1/2 inch. No, I think 3/4 would be good. So we're going to have one that is 3 by 3/4. We'll have another one that is 3 by 3/4. And then the green one is longer, and I'll measure what that is. It is, I think, 4 inches. So this one is 4 inches, and I'm going to cut that down to 4 by 3/4. So it's just a little thinner, so it doesn't take away from what I want to show you. All right, I think what I'm going to do without using a die cut image, here's another easy, super easy layout. Let's grab another stamp, and why not use, I'm going to use one of these. And knowing you brings joy to my heart. Be grateful for what you have. Be proud of who you are. How about I could put happy birthday down the side. So we're going to do that. I'm going to hope that my sentiment is on there straight. Or the sticker anyway. So, okay. And I'm going to actually stamp this in. I don't want to lose my full strength of that gray color, smoky slate. And I should practice on a piece of scrap to make sure it's going to stamp the way I want it to. Sure thing. Okay. So tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to put the happy birthday right here. Like so. So we're not needing any die cut images, just your designer series paper and stamped images. Remember, sometimes less is more. We're going to add this. I don't want to cover all that up. So let's see. I kind of want them overlapping, and I wish I would have taken a picture of what she had going on. But it was something like that, and the grunge was showing. It was really super simple. Let's just add this one first, and then we'll work around it. I just use my seal. I'm going to add this straight. I kind of want those colors showing like so. And this one can kind of go a little crooked there. And this one, I'll use the flip side of the same design. And this can go kind of, it can overlap this one and just have that little bit of that green peeking out. It can come over here. It can come over here. I don't want to cover up a lot of that ink, so I'm going to actually overlap like this and have it be right there. Cool, right? Sure thing. And then I am going to find more twine of some sort. I think we have some grays in here. There's some gray. Or I could use, it's just a really simple, I mean, it seems like, oh my gosh, it needs more stuff, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I think it's super cool. All right, we're going to use some of this gray, and I'm going to, again, just bring it around to the front near the edge of the, where the paper folds. And I think I ended up using the wrong side of the card base because you're supposed to fold in towards the mountain of the fold, not in towards the valley, but that's okay. I got excited. But Tamara's design obviously was a little bit different. I'm going to cut that. And I don't know if I'm going to tie a bow or just leave it hanging. Let's see. I don't know if I have enough there with my cold fingers to do all that fun stuff. Oops. Yeah, I guess I could do a bow. Look at that. A little bit of waste, but that's okay. We got that tiny bow, and our card folds that way. And look at that. Simple design, but still really easy to go ahead and use some of those scraps up. Okay, so you got those two cards. Let's make one more. This one I'm going to use blue. Let's find our Misty Moonlight. Set these here. And Misty Moonlight card base. Got that. It's already varnished, so that's good. And stamps out of the way. And let's see what we can do. I'm going to use a piece of white with this, and I might use all the same type of paper. It's just going to be going in different directions. All right, let me find a piece of white that I can cut into here. Try not to tip my lamp over. We've got those. And I'm going to do this. Again, I'm going to do the, do I want it less than that? Because I kind of want it. I'm going to do, again, the 3.5 by 4 3/4. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay. If not, I'll cut a different piece. All right. And this, we are going to layer. If I can work my fingers right. Like so. Oh, that would look good, right? So I think it needs to be smaller though, because actually let's do it this way. So I'm just winging it right now. Bear with me. I could do that. And this. Nope. All right. Hold tight. I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller. Let's try 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. But oh, I just got an idea. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start adhering these. I have enough to do this little trick, and I'm going to do, I was going to use all the same design, but I'm going to do different designs. So actually put this against the grid. I'm going to go in 1 inch with that one. The flip side, I will go in 2 inches with this one. Make sure it's straight. right? Flip side. To 3 inches. Oh, I did it wrong. I put tape on the wrong side. And then we're going to go another inch, so that's going to be 3 inches. So I'm going to end up trimming another 1/4 of this off. And then I'm going to take this and do, it should have been longer, 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches. So that's paired up. Then let's take another piece and we're going to come in with the opposite, right? And go in almost to that. I'm winging it, people. I'm just grabbing my scraps and going to town. Hopefully you're enjoying this. It's just kind of giving me a variation of these two designs. And again, I should have trimmed that a little bit right there before I started, but that's okay. We'll cover that with something. And then the back side of this. We'll trim our edges, okay? We'll make this look prettier, don't you worry. Oh, it'll be easy. Super, super easy. So the first thing I want to do is cut off all of these, and I have scissors that I use for the goopy adhesive cuts. So if there's adhesive on the paper, I can just use those scissors. We'll trim the backs of these, and I am going to trim this down, and we should have a really cute design. So there's that. And I'm going to trim down 1/4 of an inch on this side so that I am, right, so it would be like that. And I'm going to trim these. I'm just going to trim a smidge off of this end, a little bit more, so that it's equal with what's at the top. Is that not cool or what? Oh, I'm impressed. Sometimes things work out, right? So we have that. And then we can actually get another piece of paper to put under here and add some texture. So you could use an embossing folder. Let's see if I have anything handy that is already embossed, or something I can create something, a fun texture. Let's see, or even a different color. Maybe adding another color like this to border that. Yes, let's do that. Okay, that's going to give it a pop. So I'm going to, since this was trimmed, let's measure it. 3 by 4 3/8. So then this needs to be 3 1/4. Oh, I need my bigger one. 3 1/4 by, so 4 3/8, so it'll be 4 5/8. Okay, so we have this. We're going to adhere these two together, like so. So we'll add those together. We'll find a sentiment. That was fun to do. Okay, so we've got that. And let's stick with twine, because I think I have Calypso Coral in there. If that's the color, we're going to go with that. And I'm going to wrap this around a couple times as we did the others. Make sure I have enough. I'll wrap it around 3 times. There's so much stuff tipping over because of my big old boot I have on. All right, I'm going to trim this now so I'm not all thumbs. Wrapped it around 3 times. I'm going to tie a bow. I like to, when I use my twine, I like to tie knots first. I hope y'all are enjoying this. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, all the fun things. And then I'm going to share a few tips with you. And they're probably obvious that some of you may know and some of you may not have ever thought of before. Just to help your stamping a little bit. All right, or you're creating. Okay, I'm going to spread these out like I did the last one, kind of in a fan. I want the center one on that piece of white, like so. And the bow is right there. Okay, this is going to get dimensionals, I think. So let's add some dimensionals to the back side. And then we will find something to stamp on really quick. So one thing, my late husband Brett would love to sit in front of the TV, whether watching Westerns or whatever show he was watching that moment, and he would die cut like crazy for me. He would loved doing it. So that was a time saver for me. Very helpful when I was doing classes and stuff like that. So, and he would make so much good use out of paper. There wasn't much left of the piece of paper when he was done. So there is that. Is that super cute? This looks like a baby card to me. Do you think? I think so. I wonder if I have a little sentiment for a baby. Let's see. There must be somewhere a baby sentiment. Bear with me. Oh, in the moment. Huh, that's quite the sentiment. I might not find one at the moment. Trucking along. So, you know what? Oh, what's this one? I'm going to use this sentiment. Oh, wait. I've never used this. Honestly, this is how sad it is. I don't even have but one sticker on these stamps. Oh, you are my greatest gift. First my mother, forever my friend. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's do You Are My Greatest Gift. I'm just going to grab this, give you a little tip on how to do this. Take the sticker, take the sentiment out of here. I smell my daughter's perfume. It smells so good. She's getting ready to take off on me and head cross country. I'm very proud of her, but my motherly instincts are like flying high right now. I realize that you have to let your children soar. I'm struggling with the letting go part. It's one thing being 4 hours away. It's another thing being on the other coast. So, all right, I'm going to just take that back off. You see what I did? I lined that up with my block. And again, let's grab, since we have white on here, I'm going to grab a piece of white that is hanging out over here. I'm going to stamp, I think, in blue. How about Misty Moonlight to go with the card base? We'll stamp this. And I think all I'm going to do I'm going to grab that square right here. Sticking with the perennial postage. I think that's what they're called. I could be mistaken. And grab my die cutting machine. We're going to die cut this out. And then I'm just going to give you a couple of tips on a few things. Do you guys have tips and tricks on what you do for time savers when you're crafting? Like, do you do things ahead of time? Like, obviously I cut card bases way in advance. Like, I used to get a pack of paper, totally cut it in 2 different ways to have 2 different types of card bases. I may or may not score them in case I wanted to do a fun fold. So I would do that well in advance, and have like a lot of different colors. So I would try and do a pack of each color and have that in my stash, which is why it was so easy for me to pull out some and success dropping stuff. That is my whole nature of in my craft room. It's not me crafting unless I drop something. So I like this right here. I think that's going to add to this. I'm going to put dimensionals on this as well. But do you have tips and tricks that you would like to share with everyone here in how to make your craft time easier? What do you do when you are struggling with your mojo? Like, you want to craft, or you have to craft, or you need to do something, get a project done. Maybe you're working on a scrapbook or Christmas cards, or whatever, some big project for a gift or craft fair stuff. What makes it easier for you when you lose your motivation? Like, what do you do? And what type of tips do you have for saving time when crafting? So these are the 3 very simple layouts that we did tonight. I hope you enjoyed them. Various stamp sets, various colors. Just really loved the plaids and stuff like that. I love this technique. It's just so simple, right? Beginner stamper. And then adding layers and die cutting and stuff like that. Now, and I can add some gems to jazz it up a little bit. I do my cutting for 3 or 4 cards, then put them together, kind of like an assembly line. That is great. That actually is a great idea. And what I wanted to share, and I would show my face, but I look like I just got out of bed. So I like to, at times, when I have time, and I don't do it enough, but I like to, let's just, for the sake of doing a demonstration. All right, I have this set of their greetings of the season dies. All different types of tags, banners, whatever. I'm going to grab let's just do it in, oh, that's got score lines in it. This does not. There goes my light. Let's do it in this color. Even though most often you decorate, you'll do tags in a different color, but you can always use this for something. And I'm going to grab my die cutting machine. And if you are going to be working on something like similar colors and you just want to have a whole stash of stuff, let me turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take about 3 or 4 of these, as many as I can, put on that paper, much space as I have. Of course, this is where someone would come in really handy doing all this great stuff for me. His birthday's tomorrow too. Happy heavenly birthday to Brett. And let's see. Just going to poke out that piece of paper that's there. And I'm going to maybe add a few more, right? So we have got one sheet, well, not one sheet, but a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 paper. And I know I'm not going to get all of these cut out, like every single one that is in the set, but that's a pretty significant spot right there. And since I have room, I'm just going to grab another die that will fit right there from another set, like this one. And I'm going to grab the lid, the plate that is right here in my hands. and I'm going to sandwich all that in and run it through. And now I have a variety of wonderful things. Just get these back where they go so I don't misplace a die. And I'll show you what I ended up with. I don't know if you can see it all at the moment. But imagine sitting in front of your television with a whole bunch of dies, or even the same die, and just running it through your die machine. You can even do embossing. You can take pieces of paper and do your embossing and get all of those things embossed so that when you get time to sit and actually do your assembly line, you will have all of that. Hey, Deb, you will have all these wonderful things already pre-cut for you to use. So I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 die cut pieces in one sweep through my machine. And that is going to save me a lot of time when I want to use, say, these specific dies for maybe a junk journal. And that's the color theme that I'm going to use, part of the colors. Maybe I want to do the same amount of, or the same dies in different colors. And that way I have them on hand for, you know, whenever I need them. So there's a lot of simple ways that you can save time with your crafting if you can't indeed do all the crafting at once. Cutting your layers for your paper, for your card bases, the extra layers that you're going to need to, you know, layer up your card. Your designer series paper, you might want to cut some of that up in various ways. Kylie and Bruno Bertucci. Love it, chop it. If we don't cut our paper, we tend to not use it. So cut that paper. You can cut it down to various sizes, stash it away for when you need it, and create on that day when you can. So it's really super easy to manage time when you don't have time, in a sense. You can kind of, I know what I want to do. I know I want to make this card, and I know I want to send it to a various amount of people, or maybe you're doing a swap for an event or whatever the case is. You can totally get all things done ahead of time by cutting and prepping and all that stuff, and then totally get them, just sit there with like an assembly line and knock it out of the park. Just like coloring. You stamp your image how many times? And I still have got to work more with this cow because I love it. But you stamp your image so many times, and you sit in front of the TV, or you sit in the waiting room at a doctor's office, or you sit on your lunch break at work. I may or may not have done that several times. And you just color, or you, I don't know, you go to an event like this weekend. There is crafting. There's a no frills crop. I could take something like this, and if I just want to sit and visit, I can just stamp and color till my heart's content, or just do the prep work and then assemble and put things together at a later date. So it's just many ways that you can kind of lessen the load and make things a little bit easier and re-spark that mojo that may be missing. So really simple layouts. A lot of this started out as 3 by 1 inch strips of paper. This one was a little longer, but really very simple, not a lot of elements, thank you, not a lot of, you know, die cutting, not a lot of embossing, heat embossing, any of that stuff, just really basic ingredients to create simple layouts, but they still have some sort of wow factor in a sense, you know, whether it's adding a little ink here or doing a different layout of your paper on this one, or just adding a sentiment on a die cut piece that kind of makes it stand out and pop. So just don't ever, you know, if you are struggling with your mojo, go watch a video, get some inspiration from someone, and sit down. And even if you're just listening to them or recreating while they're creating it, just do it. And then you'll find that you were like, oh my goodness, I know what I can do next. And it totally is mind boggling how it just is like a domino effect. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed being here on my channel. Let's caffeinate and create with MJ. I did get my nails done tonight. I was loving the Daisy Daydream paper pumpkin set. So I got daisies on my nails today. So little spring, but still a little subtle because those bright, pretty pinks and florals and pretty Eastery colors, I need a tan for those. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Mary Jo Snyder. I'm super happy to have you here. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that like button and comment. I will see you all again, if not before. I will see you on Sunday for Let's Caffeinate and Create at 9 a.m. right here, Eastern Standard Time. Many blessings, many crafting and stamping blessings to each and every one of you. Have a great night. Bye for now.